Hey guys, good afternoon. Daryl Sweeney, it's Wednesday. I apologize for running a few minutes late, but I was finishing up with a client. We had a killer session, and man, she is on her way. I cannot wait to share some of the things that she's doing. She's an author, she's putting a book out there. She's just doing some amazing stuff. So I will share her story and some of what's going on in future episodes. But as for today, it's awesome. My kids are in school. It's snowy and crazy outside, and they've been out of school and it's been juggling, but they're in school today, meaning that I get to work with clients. I get to do this and talk to you, and I'm ready. So hopefully you are too. Here's my question that I want you to think about, reflect on, and I'd love to see you hit the comments with an answer. What is an audience that you would love to be in front of? Right? So, what is an audience that you would love to be in front of to promote your business or build your list or do something impactful? What audience could serve you, could help you? Now, while you're thinking about audiences, most of you guys know me. My name is Daryl Sweeney. I am a professional coach that works with business owners, that works with leaders, that works with professionals who really want to build a business, who really want to take their business to the next level, who really want to build the life they really want. And I work with authors who are trying to get their books out there, promote what they're doing, and get their message out to the public. I work with all kinds of different people to really push their business and their lives forward. So if that's you, hit me up and let's have a conversation. As for this week, I asked the question, what is an audience that you would love to be in front of? And the reason I'm asking that question is because last week we started a conversation around growth hacking, right? And if you remember, growth hacking is the idea of using creative low cost strategies to help businesses, to help you acquire and retain customers. So today I wanted to start this series with growth hack number one and just talk about one of my favorite ways to drive growth in just about any business, right? And it's this idea of borrowed audiences. So today's topic is this: grow your audience by borrowing theirs. Grow your audience by borrowing theirs. So when we talk about borrowed audiences, a lot of people I talk to haven't heard that phrase before. I don't think I made it up, but I certainly use it probably more than most. And it's really about, how do I grow my business? How do I grow my list? How do I get my message in front of more people to drive the kind of growth I'm looking for? Whether it's leads, prospects, clients, customers, whatever that growth is. How do I do more of that without hammering on or talking to the same people I always talk to? See, most of us have an audience. Most of us have a group of people that we can email. They're connected to us on social media. There are people, there are tribe. But to grow, we've got to get outside of that tribe. We've got to get in front of new and different people. So, how do we do that? One of my top ways is to borrow audiences. So, what do I mean by borrowing audiences? Instead of painstakingly going out there and getting in front of, people one by one, two by two, whatever that may be, what if you could get in front of 50 people at a time, 100 people, 1,000 people who are not currently in your audience? They're not currently in your tribe. What impact would that have on your business or what you're trying to do? Well, I'm here to tell you that I think it's possible. And believe it or not, it's not that hard, right? So when I talk about borrowing audiences, how do we do that? We do that by being a guest on somebody else's podcast, right? There are tons of amazing podcasts out there that have been building their subscribership, building their listeners over the years. And they invite guests on all the time. What if you were the subject matter expert? What if you were a guest on this podcast and shared your message with all their subscribers? You invited them to check you out online, to join your Facebook group, to visit your page, to subscribe to whatever it is that you're doing, right? That's a way to borrow an audience, right? Being a speaker at an event. This is something that I've been doing for years. I go to different events. I get to speak. I get to get in front of a group of people, many of which are meeting me for the very first time. They get to hear me. They get to see me. They get to know what I do, what I'm about. And I find ways to invite them to work with me or at least connect with me as a way to grow my audience. Right? Think about lunch and learns. Right? There are all these companies out there who want to provide education. I've got a client who's in the financial services industry, and he loves going to other companies, doing these lunch and learns, and giving people the opportunity to learn about their financial situation, to learn about financial planning, right? And it's seen as a benefit by the employer because they're helping their people plan out the rest of their lives. So it really becomes a win-win, right? Think about being a guest blogger or a guest columnist. Think about being an expert on a webinar, right? We see all these webinars that are available to us every single day. What if you were a subject matter expert and you were teaching people something And then as you're finishing up, you're inviting them to connect with you. You're inviting them to like and follow and do all the other things to grow your audience, grow your tribe, and eventually grow leads and grow sales. So these are all ideas of how to borrow an audience, how to effectively take your message and instead of being in front of your audience, go get in front of somebody else's. Right? And we start by thinking about who are the audiences, who are the people that you know now that have audiences that are relevant to you. Who out there may not be in direct competition with you, but is talking to the same kind of people that you would want to be in front of, your ideal prospect. And once you have that list, then it's about making the approach. It's about understanding, what do I need to say? How do I add value? How do I make the offer and get invited onto the podcast, get invited to be a speaker, get invited to some of these other things? Right? This is the fastest way to take your email list from 200 to 400, right? From 2,000 to 5,000. It's just constantly being in front of new people. But instead of you trying to pull them all to you, you're going out to them. Lastly, we can take this to the next level. So another way to borrow an audience is to think in the matter of true long-term partnerships. So I actually had one of those. A lot of you guys know, many of you probably don't, but a lot of you guys know that I used to own an e-commerce company. And in that company, we sold anything and everything for college kids living in the dorms. And we did great. We built an incredible brand, a brand and a company that to this day I'm very, very proud of. Worked with incredible people. And we built our audience. We got in front of people. We did all the marketing. We did all the social media. We built our audience. People were subscribing to our list. And we were doing well. We grew that company. It grew very, very quickly. Nothing was more impactful than when I borrowed somebody else's audience. Some of you might remember the store Linens and Things, right? They used to be all things organization and things like that. And they used to have retail stores all over the country. And in that store, every summer, they would have a back to school section. Well, the company ended up going bankrupt years and years ago. They went bankrupt and they closed all of their stores. They reemerged as a as an online only store, as an e-commerce store. And they still sold all of their containers and all their storage supplies and everything else. But one thing I noticed when I was running dorm buys was they didn't have a back to school section. So I picked up the phone and called them. I asked them, where'd it go? This used to be a big part of your all's business. Where'd it go? And I found out that they considered the back to school session too short, that season too short, in order to put in all the work that it took to make it possible. So I just simply asked them, what if I did it for you? Right? And with that one phone call, with that one conversation, Dorm Buys became the supplier to Linens and Things back to school clients and customers. So we sold our products, we shipped, we did everything under their brand, but I was able to put my products and an opportunity for people to spend money with me in front of over 5 million people with one phone call. I borrowed an audience of 5 million people. It doubled our revenue. Think about that. One phone call, one partnership doubled our revenue. All because of this thoughts of, how do I borrow an audience? How do I, instead of building an audience all the time, how do I take some of my energy, effort, and time and go out and figure out how to borrow an audience? So that's what I want to leave you with. I want to encourage you to spend some time this week thinking about, what are some opportunities for you to borrow somebody else's audience that can grow your business, that can give you more leads, that can create more opportunity, create more revenue for you and your business? Hopefully this conversation was helpful. Hopefully there's something in here that I said that you can put into practice. And if there's a conversation you want to dig deeper into, hit me up, right? Jump into the comments, send me a direct message on this platform. You can get me on my website over at darrellsweeney.com, but you can tell that I have a lot of energy around this idea. It is one of the main ways and main tactics I'm using in my own business this year. So I would love to talk more about what's going on in your business, help you find ways to take things to the next level and truly build the business that you really want to build, live the life that you really want to live. If you found this helpful or you know somebody who needs to hear this message, tag them in the comments, share it, get it out there. Let them know about this conversation so that they can change their business. Maybe you're in a business together so that you all can be on the same page with what you're thinking about. But more importantly, just hopefully there's value. If there's ever anything I can do for you, please let me know. Happy to have that conversation. And with that, I will see you guys next week. Stay warm.